season. All right. So Nicole, if you missed this in real estate, I mean, the guy got 2.8 million views on his TikTok. This I actually saw before I even saw the TikTok. Shout out to Melanie who sent us the TikTok on Instagram. She's obviously following me at Byron Lazine. Shout out to her. But the broke agent had posted this. Let's post this up here and I'll read it right now. What he posted, which was a screenshot. Mm-hmm. I don't know who this is, but he thought it was funny, so he posted it.
Was that a Twitter? Was it a Twitter post?
Yeah, this might have been a Twitter. I think it was a Twitter post.
I never know what that means when they take like a photo. Like, where is that from? Is that a Twitter thing?
This happens to be from Twitter.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
My mom's house sold for way over asking price. Found out Zillow bought it. They really are snatching up all the homes for ridiculous prices. The closing attorney said that they do a closing every hour for Zillow. Just their office alone. That's wild.
Wild.
So I saw this. I actually made a comment.
Well, because the broke agent asks, he did a call to action. Is this true?
The broke agent had a great CTA there. My comment is this is 100% true. I have seen real examples with closing statements in a Texas market. That's true. I've been teasing this out for a little while now.
Yeah, well, finally closed.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. Let's get into the TikTok. There's a lot of different layers to this. So I teased this out, I don't know, maybe 3-4 shows ago. You can always subscribe if you feel like you're missing anything here on The Real World. Love for you to consider subscribing. And I talked about a couple in Texas. Full disclosure, they happen to be my wife's cousin. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's the wife's cousin. He would be, what would that, a cousin-in-law?
Just they're cousins.
Cousins.
No one gives a shit. Family. Let's keep moving. Yeah.
I've known him for a long time.
Right.
So they had 2 homes in the same neighborhood in San Antonio.
Right.
Okay. Now these 2 homes were investment properties because they had bought a 3rd home in San Antonio, which they were living in the woods, I would say.
Okay,
in San
so they own 3
maybe
homes.
A neighboring town.
Yeah.
These 2 particular homes. Mm-hmm. He's military, relocating. They want to sell the 2 investment properties, which they were using as Airbnbs.
Okay.
So agent number 1 comes over and says, you're between 240 and 260, 240 home run, sell it, 250. Okay. Right. Market value, 260 might be a stretch.
Right.
Okay. There's
that's your top dollar. It's 260.
That's your top dollar because there's new construction happening in that area between like 280 and in the neighborhood rather. The community between 280 and 290. So they're like, Byron, these are the numbers. They're just asking my opinion. Here's the comps, But
so each house is worth the same amount.
Yeah, they're in this community. They're all very similar homes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but here's what happened. We were online looking up more information because we got the one information from agent. But hey, if you're an agent, guess what? Everybody's going to be fact checking you. Like you're going to give them a number. They're going to go on Zillow. They're going to go on all these different places to look up what the online world believes the value of the home is.
The seller is doing all that before an agent comes in.
Yeah, before, after, during.
Whatever.
So they're doing some more research online. Common, absolutely going to do.
Yeah.
And he sees, we'll buy your house. Instant offer.
Oh, so he initiated.
So he sees Zillow instant offer.
Interesting.
The agent in that market never mentioned, hey, in our market, Zillow's doing offers.
Okay.
So looks into it and
he goes far in. I mean, he is committing. He's giving obviously his information over.
He's giving some information. Yeah, name, email. Yeah. We own the house, whatever.
I feel like as soon as someone started asking for my phone number and email, that's usually when I bail.
It's also public information, but.
No. I'm just saying I usually bail. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to get another email.
So Zillow's asking for information. They get a number back of 200.
Immediately?
Pretty fast. I'll say within 24 hours. I mean, it was an immediate type of thing. Was it
an email, a text, a phone call, an email?
It was an email.
And it was like a signed offer?
Nope. So we'll screenshot this. Okay. This is what they get. They get this.
Oh, look, they say market value.
Market value.
Starting estimate based on comparable homes in your area and listing. Okay. Your offer will be finalized after the evaluation. So market value, $297,000, $160. $297,160. Good job.
Zillow service charge, 1%. Now they know that the agent was, say, maybe 5 or 6, whatever the agent quoted them at. Okay. Mm-hmm. Estimating closing costs, $22.82. Repairs are pending the valuation. So estimate cash proceeds, $291,000. So he's like, whoa.
Wow.
So they reached back out to me. What do you think about this? Is this a scam? What was their initial thing? Because
it does say like pending evaluation, so I don't blame them. Like
their Zestimate was much lower than that number.
Okay.
So the Zestimate was lower. The comps in the neighborhood are lower. The agent says you're going to sell between 240 and 260. They do their own. They know their neighborhood. They're looking. They're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's got to be a scam. So I said, I don't know that market, obviously. So get a couple of more agent quotes. All the agent quotes that they talked to, one of them living in that neighborhood, was between 240 and 260. Mm-hmm. So they're like, what should we do? I said, well, I mean, if you can get Zillow to pay you $297 with 1%,
right,
you should take
That's
the
where
money.
You
got 2 homes here. And so we're talking about, $80,000 to $100,000 of money. This is before the realtor fee that you would be getting.
Love it.
So they go through the process. The process is very quick.
Of course.
Very easy.
Mm-hmm. Are they buying both?
Zillow bought them both.
Both.
They closed on both of them.
Same price for both.
Same price for both. That number that I showed you, the 297, is what they got. They're after the 1%.
Zillow got a 2-for deal with these folks.
After the 1%. And
all because he clicked it.
He clicked and went through the process. They did the valuation, which literally...
Well, if Zillow's smart, now they just start attacking that neighborhood.
They didn't even go into one of the homes.
Right. So
they didn't even go into one.
Because it does have like a repair line. It has an evaluation, nothing.
They ended up coming back to no repairs. What ended up happening was they got the true number. So they ended up $293 before paying off mortgage. Okay. $293 off of the $297. No showings. Pick your closing date.
Right.
This is what happened to these particular buyers that are in my family that I know very well, and it was the right decision for them. Now, had the agent that pitched them that opportunity first brought it to Zillow, because Zillow and they sent me all the emails and everything. Zillow asked them on the phone and then in email multiple times, do you have an agent we need to be aware of?
Right.
There was no agent. They didn't sign with an agent.
Right.
They had gotten CMAs from an agent. Now, if that agent was smart enough to know what is going on in their neighborhood, in their market, they should have said, hey, here's what the market can bear right now. There are other opportunities called cash offer prices. Here are the programs that are in our market. Like in certain markets, Zillow offers doesn't exist.
Right.
iBuying is not happening everywhere for Zillow. But here in our market, it is. Now, if he brought it to Zillow, he would have actually been compensated on a commission on that deal.
But based, like, would that seller have lost any more? Like, would the money be coming out of their proceeds?
It would. I don't know that, but I believe it would have come out of the Zillow would pay on top. Now, Zillow had the 1%. I don't know exactly how that would work because listen.
Because obviously, as a seller, I certainly don't want to bring an agent for you. Didn't do anything.
But my point is, if you met with the agent initially, they didn't know at that time about the Zillow offer. So if he was now the one presenting value,
no, I'm hearing.
Hey, let's look into this.
I absolutely
now they're going to be totally fine with him being compensated because he brought the value.
Right. Well, not out of their own pocket.
Maybe not out of the potentially, but they were about to pay him 5% at $250 because they had to sell for a military relocation. So it's like, oh, I got to compensate you 2.5 on $290 because you brought me this key piece of information that I didn't know. Yeah. Let's go. That's a win.
Let's go.
But there are other Zillow offer situations that we've talked about at length where it's 7 to 12% fees. This is 1%. This is different. This is happening. People in Arizona and Atlanta are talking about this as well. So when the broke agent, then we're going to get to this TikTok that went completely viral. When the broke agent posted this, I make this statement, this is 100% true. I've seen these real examples. Now we have what I would call your classic agent who can't see what is right in front of them. Okay. Now, one agent, not this agent, says, we're seeing this in Oregon as well. We're seeing this. So there's another state that I wasn't aware about until I started chatting in the broke agent feed, right? But now there's a Texas agent. Texas, here she goes. Texas is one of only 7 non-disclosure states, and by your account's bio, you are not licensed here. How are you seeing our closing disclosures?
Oh, that's
how
where we
went? How are you seeing them? These are our closing disclosures. Some were sent to me. And I do a little they're sent to me. Safe answer. Okay, so she's very hurt that she's a Texas agent and Texas residents, they're family. Hello. Take it easy. So she demands, which market are you referring to? San Antonio. It was a seller. And so she's like talking about why are lenders or buyers and this involved in that. I said it was a seller that valued my opinion. Their boom.
Right.
Sent it over. There was no buyers that involved. Zillow was the buyer. So she says, is this a one-off incident? No, I just told you the story. They sold 2 homes,
right? And
it's not a one-off incident. If she read the previous comment, there was an agent seeing it in Oregon. I know people that have seen it in Atlanta that are seeing it right now happen in Arizona. So here's where agents, you got to be careful with what you're going through right now, and this doesn't last forever. Not disputing the market, but here in DFW, she's a Dallas agent, we're listing based on comps and still getting 50 to 100K over list price. The sellers would likely be better off listing with a traditional agent and letting the open market take care of itself. No, you're wrong. The open market, 3 agents wanted to list at 250. What if they got 252 and paid 5%?
Right. Yeah.
And nothing in their neighborhood. All the comps were selling at 250. Now they're going to cross their fingers and hope it gets bid up to 290 when you've got 290 in your hand with a 1% fee.
Or keep Zillow in your back pocket. Go ahead and then show me that you can get, but you're still paying 5%. So now you have to be well over 300 to make it worthwhile.
Because when I'm on the listing appointment, if they're in my marketplace, I'm always presenting the Zillow offer, because like Glenda Baker said on her podcast that she did on my podcast that she did with me, she said, Byron, let's go over in Atlanta all of the offers, because if I find a diamond in the rough, like my wife's cousin did on 2 properties, I want them to go take that, because I want them to send me referrals, because I want them to know I'm here for their best interest, and I'm giving them all the opportunities available to them in the market. Now, the question is, why is Zillow overpaying for some properties? Okay, now they say that they're not overpaying, they're paying market value. Do they know something that we don't know? Is this the new market value going forward?
Right.
Are they going to stop doing, putting these homes back on the market? This home, by the way, just closed a week ago, not on the market right now.
We looked, yep.
Not on, Zillow doesn't have it posted, so it's not on the market right now. Are they holding and renting? Are they playing the BlackRock market? What do they know when they're paying so much over asking price that we don't know? Well, a TikToker got into this.
Oh, we're putting on our headphones.
Let's go into what his thoughts are.
And let's talk about some what ifs. What if there was a company that everybody
used? This got 2.8
2.8
million views.
Everybody knew of to look for houses. And everybody goes on there and searches for houses when they're bored and stuff. And so that company, they just sit back and they just collect all the data. They just know what zip code is looking at what zip code and how much those people can afford. Everyone's looking at this one zip code, and everybody seems to be able to afford this certain amount. And let's say that $1 billion company uses that information to go into that zip code and start purchasing houses. Because the people that are selling their houses, even though they sell it for a little bit less sometimes than what the home could actually be worth, and they pay these high fees to this $1 billion company, it's a convenience factor. So this company is scooping up houses less than what they actually could cost. And let's say that company, that company buys 30 homes within a 2-mile radius. And let's say the price is $300,000. So they buy all of these homes for $300,000. And then on the 31st home, they buy it for $340,000. Even though they know all of the comps. Because most people have to get a loan. And if you get a loan, you have to get an appraisal, which means the appraiser is going to look at what homes have sold in the area for that size and that price per square foot. So they're paying cash.
It's the dog.
They don't
the dog.
need
He's snapping at his dog.
Why would they pay $340,000 for this 31st home whenever they've only paid $300,000 for these others? Well, what that just did is create a new comp. So when they go to sell these other 30 homes, That extra $40,000 that you could say this one sold for $340 just made them $1.2 million.
All right, so
one neighborhood.
You can watch the rest of the TikTok. It's linked up.
And let's
basically his point here is that they are going to drive up and manipulate the market, right? He's making the point, and he has.
Well, he's saying that he was very clear, because in a few of his other videos there were others that were claiming that that's what he was saying, but he was just this is a hypothetical situation.
Oh yeah, so yes. I mean, listen,
he's very hypothetical.
He could be the marketeer of the week. To Bobby's point before the show, is he the marketeer, because he got 2.8 million views on TikTok, and he ended up on Market Watch. Viral TikTok accuses Zillow and competitors of manipulating the housing market. And here's what's really going on. He does a
follow-up video to that on TikTok too.
He has 4 or 5 videos that follow up to this whole thing, because what he's saying, and he never used the Zillow word, the Z word. He didn't say Zillow. So he said, I said hypothetical, you're wrong. And he said, the CEO of Redfin, Glenn Kelman, who we've talked about on the show plenty of times, is tweeting about me. He goes, I don't know who follows him, because it certainly isn't me. That was a funny line. That was a good line.
You really enjoyed that.
That was a funny line. Yeah. But, here's the thing. They're saying, and this article goes on to...
It's linked up.
We'll link that one up as well. And then there's an Inman article that covers this whole thing too. Kelman, in a tweet, said, would rather sell the home without owning it. So, they've got no interest in buying these homes if they don't have to. We just offer every homeowner a cash offer or a brokerage sale. We want to give them all the information. Mm-hmm. Same thing that Zillow says, the simple truth is, through our services and tools, home shoppers have more power than ever before at their fingertips when buying, selling, or renting their home, because of the information we make available to them. By the way, that's true. By the way, Zillow just is empowering buyers and sellers. So whether you like that or not, you can't be like this Texas agent. They should just list with me because I'm an agent and I say so, and we're still seeing homes get bid up. No, they should have all the opportunities available to them, and they should make the best decision for them and their life and their situation. Mm-hmm. There's going to become a day where Zillow, and I completely disagree with the TikToker's stance. Let me rephrase that. I disagree that is the reason they're overpaying for homes. I should say I don't completely disagree with an element of it. I'll get into that. But to wrap up the point about the agents really losing ground here in this argument, like that Texas agent, if you're not fully transparent, if you don't offer everything, they're going to eventually be looking for more solutions online if they're not already today.
Well, it's interesting though, because your cousin-in-law wasn't even looking for another solution. He was just looking at comps.
Studying at comps, just getting more information.
He wasn't feeling like there was even another solution potentially.
People are thirsty for information, and they should be. They should be getting this information. And in a different market where Zillow, and this is the point I'll wrap up before I go into ultimately where I think he maybe could be right, but is also wrong. In a different market where they're not overpaying, a lot of people are going to look at these Zillow offers and be like, wait a minute, 12% fees, it's less than the market value. Nicole, I'm listening with you all day.
Right.
I'm listening with you all day, because a business model is not, I'm going to continuously overpay by $40,000 forever and always. And iBuying, which is what, basically this is less than 1% of the total market. Okay. Here's what they're doing, in my opinion. And I think I've said this before, but I'll say it once and for all, what they're doing when they're overpaying for homes. They are buying brand loyalty because they've got the money to do it. They're buying up brand loyalty. If they buy enough of these homes in San Antonio, Texas, and it becomes easy, that story gets out. They bought so-and-so's home. They closed in 2 weeks.
Well, and I mean, now the broke agent is talking about it. Now there's a viral TikTok.
Market Watch.
I mean, it's certainly
they just did
happening.
A huge PR campaign that they didn't pay for. They put the money into the homeowner's pocket instead.
Right.
Homeowners feel great about Zillow. What are they doing? They're building more trust with the consumer than you are. Are they doing it in a way that you don't like because they're overpaying for homes and it manipulates your market? Okay, that's the argument you've got. Okay, sure. Now, here's what I will say. The element that he's a little bit right, the TikToker, on is Wall Street, not Zillow. I'm not going to put Zillow. Zillow's part of Wall Street, part of, BlackRock, Redfin, Open Door, all of them together. Wall Street as a collective, as they own and purchase more homes, single-family homes, BlackRock holding and renting, Zillow may be in the process of selling some, doing whatever with some, we don't know. They're going to manipulate the single-family market more than ever before in the future.
Right.
Meaning, there's a whole bunch of foreclosures coming out, and we were about to put these homes on the market. Nope, we're renting them now because we don't want the market to drop that much because we have all these assets now tied up into single-family homes. Right. When you control more inventory, you can control prices. If I own all the homes in a particular town, every single one of them, and people want to move to that town, and I put none of them on the market, I'm going to be getting crazy offers for my homes. Am I not?
Absolutely.
If I decide to put 50% of the homes on the market, now all of a sudden I've oversaturated the market. I'm going to get far less for these homes.
Right.
When they own a bigger share, which they're buying up more and more shares, then they'll be able to manipulate. They can't do it now. They're not doing it now. They're not going to do it for one comp of one sale. This is Zillow, guys. This is $1 billion corporation. They're buying a brand loyalty right now. And they are chewing it up faster than they ever have before. And they have a ton of brand loyalty. 3 or 4 buyers use Zillow. So that's what they're doing. It's not a racket. Agents out there are paying for brand loyalty all the time. Billboards. Video,
we're back to the billboards.
Mailers. I'm just saying, that's paying for brand loyalty.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a great TikToker, though.
I thought it was
He is great. Honorary marketeer of the week.
I know,
even though we do have a
Bobby
marketeer.
was distracted by his voice, but that was kind of all you heard. You didn't get to see him.
More to come on this. I
enjoyed him. He was animated.
If you love the personal story there, what happened in San Antonio, I know we kind of switched around Market Watch, TikTok, Inman,
Well, there's a lot going on around it.
Instagram, follow me there. All these different places.
There it is.
But if you enjoyed the personal story, I'm going to continue to follow that. See if that house goes in the market. We can recap, update in the comments. Yeah. Let us know if you'd like more on that.
Or if we seek up for rent even.
Anything. I'm curious what they're doing. They overpaid for the home. So what are they going to do with
They
them?
overpaid for 2.
Yeah, exactly.
2. Yeah.
So what's going to happen? Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip from The Real World, click here for another one.
Or if you like the full episode, click here.